Hey friends! Today's video, we're doing a bit of a Q&A. I asked people on Instagram and on YouTube if you had any questions dealing with being a YouTuber, kind of anything that you might be interested in from my perspective as somebody who has been making YouTube videos for 10 years? 10 years. Oh boy. 10 years, y'all. Just checking everything's in focus. So, I did like a filming setup video last week. It's like a full overview of what I use for filming. I will be doing an editing video at some point, but I need to actually like get something to edit. That will be coming in the next couple of weeks. So, what editing tool did you use starting out? I have no experience or idea how to edit, but I want to film stuff so bad. I had a couple questions about just like editing software in general. I started with iMovie way back in the day when I had my MacBook. I still have my MacBook Pro, but I started with iMovie and then I took a couple of classes in college having to do with video production, and we learned Final Cut Pro 7 on there, which is totally different than Final Cut Pro X, which is what most people use now on Mac. And I loved Final Cut Pro 7. I used it for years until I started working at where I currently work, where we use Adobe Premiere and all Adobe stuff. And Final Cut Pro 7 is actually pretty similar to Adobe as far as like how it works and how like the user interface is. I really liked Final Cut Pro 7. I pirated the software because I wasn't about to spend the full amount of money on that software because it's expensive. But if you have a Mac, iMovie usually I think comes on all machines. So like it's pretty good and it's way better than it was back in the day. I use Adobe now and I really love it, but it's expensive. Like it's not a cheap thing because you have to like do the subscription thing. It's like you buy it and you pay for it monthly. But somebody else asked like what's a cheap software alternative if you don't have a Mac. I know Wondershare, Filmora Wondershare is one that my friends use and they've spoken highly of it. I've never used it myself, so I can't necessarily speak to it, but they've used it, they like it. Check that one out if you're curious. How do you get more viewers of subscribers without being that person in other YouTubers' content? You know, small YouTuber here under every comment. I get that sometimes, and those pretty much always get filtered into my spam folder. Don't do that. First off, don't do that because it gets annoying and anybody who sees them usually just like deletes them or sends it to spam. But if you're wanting to get more viewers or more people subscribing, honestly, just like interact with people's content in an authentic way. Comment normal things, like comment being like, oh, I like this. I feel like the only time it's really appropriate to kind of say, oh, you should check out my video is if like you made a video that's like very specifically related to the video you're commenting on. So like if you also made a video about Amazon, I would be okay with you commenting underneath my videos about Amazon if you made something similar. Unless it's like something where it's like, I did an Amazon haul. It's like, I don't want to see that. It's completely antithesis of what I'm talking about. But if something that you made a video about is directly related to the video you're commenting on, it's okay to like include it, but don't make that be like the only thing you comment. Being like, oh, check out my video that I also talked about. Like say something that you like about that video and then maybe relate it back, because then it just looks like you're just commenting so that other people will watch your videos, not actually like interacting with the video that you're watching. So just like comment authentically, like comment regularly, respond to comments on your own videos as well. So if somebody comments on your videos, if you respond, it definitely helps the algorithm. It gets pushed out to more people. I don't use Reddit personally because I'm scared of Reddit, but if you find like specific like subreddits dealing with what you're making videos about, you can post it there. Share it on other social medias, share it on Twitter, just to like increase the eyes on it. But yeah, like tag your videos, comment things that are relevant, include things in the description. It just helps more people see it. It helps it get in like search bars. But yeah, don't just comment, oh, I'm another small YouTuber, you should subscribe to my, like, no, I'm not going to. Just like be a commenter that engages with other people's content. And if your content is good, people will look at it. And if you're a nice person, people will look at your content and like see that you're making stuff that they're interested in, you know? Another comment that's kind of related. Would it be weird being in real life friends with your subscribers? I recently moved and find it difficult to make new friends. One of my favorite things to do is find new YouTubers to watch. Some I feel like I could connect with on a personal level. Is it weird to want to reach out and attempt to be friends with them? And what is the appropriate way to do it? Leaving them a comment, privately messaging, asking them on social media. Don't DM somebody asking them to be your friend because that's crossing a line, I think. Again, if you comment authentically, if you interact with their social media accounts authentically and just like respond to their stuff in a way that you would respond to your friends' stuff, I think it's going to be the best way to like build some sort of connection. But don't feel like that because somebody maybe likes your comments or responds to them all the time means that they're your friend, because it's a very like slippery slope to get on, because that's when you get parasocial relationships where somebody is liking someone's content who makes stuff online, and then they feel like they're really close to them, and then they like develop a unhealthy parasocial relationship with them when the person that they're responding to really just sees them as another subscriber. And I don't want to like come off harsh, but it's like, don't DM somebody asking them to be your friend, because usually it just comes off as like overly invasive, especially right now when everything is just so overwhelming and everybody's dealing with shit in their own way. I feel like instigating friendship in a way that way is a little, it's inappropriate. I say just like respond to their tweets, respond to things publicly. Like don't start DMs, because that can get to a place where you start sharing personal information where that person wasn't prepared to have. Like that's happened to me before, where somebody started messaging me and then they started telling me personal information where I'm like, I don't need this right now. Like, why did you feel that I was appropriate to send this to? So don't do that. It's happened and it sucks, and it puts the content creator in a very tough place where they feel like they either have to tell the person to like go away or just ignore them. So just like if the person that you're commenting back and forth to, if they think you're cool, they might follow you back. If you just like interact with people authentically and are just like nice in the comments, people will appreciate it, and maybe eventually they'll like see what you're posting on Instagram and maybe follow you back. Like that's happened to me before, where like somebody was just like really funny in my comments and I was like, I wonder what kind of person they are on Instagram, and then I started following them on Instagram and then we became friends. And again, it has to do with the size of the creator. So like for me, I have just under 50,000 subscribers, but if somebody had like 1 million subscribers, you have a much lower chance of becoming friends with them, because they probably get that shit all the time. I don't want to say manage your expectations because Gabby Hanna sucks, but like manage your expectations. What items or equipment to splurge on when new and what not to. Like I mentioned in my filming setup video, phones these days have great video. They have decent audio as well. Like you don't have to get expensive microphones. You can get microphones secondhand. You can get lights secondhand. If you have a window that is well lit and you can film during the day, you don't even need lights. I would say the one thing that you probably should have that's maybe going to cost you some money is an editing, like not even an editing software, because you can get editing softwares for free. A computer that can handle the amount of footage that you're going to put into it. So like the laptop that I use actually just for tethering and filming, I used to edit with, and it would take hours to render anything. It would take hours to export videos, and it was the biggest headache. So having a computer that has at least like 1 terabyte's worth of space will make things easier, I would say, just because you just have a lot more like RAM to work with. So having a system that like at least is like bearable. I would look into, like, there's a ton of other people who make videos about gear. I'm not like the biggest gearhead. Like my boyfriend built my computer for me, so I don't know the ins and outs of it. Having a computer that can handle editing, I think, is probably the most important part as far as like spending money on it, but like you don't need an expensive camera. I have this expensive camera because I use it for photography, and I'm a photographer. If I wasn't shooting photos like live music and weddings, I wouldn't have this camera. I have it because of that, and I got my microphone because I got it as a gift, and I got my lights because I bought it like 7 years ago. But if you have enough space on your phone, if you have a window that you can film from, you need a tripod and a computer, and that's really all you need. And you can get tripods for cheap too. Like, tripods are not expensive. How long did it take you to get monetized, and what's a realistic goal? I have a slightly different experience with monetization because I started making YouTube videos before monetization was even a thing. Like, there were no ads when I started, and when Google bought YouTube, that's when they started putting ads on videos. And we were all just kind of grandfathered into the system. I think I applied to be partner all those years ago, but again, it was a very different situation back then. Like, I don't remember what the specifications were that you needed to become a partner. But now with monetization, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So that's kind of the baseline. If people don't know that, that's what it is. That's what they've made it now after they changed some rules, so that you need to have 1,000 subs 4,000 watch hours. Once you get there, you can start monetizing stuff. And again, it kind of has to do with just like posting consistently and sharing your stuff elsewhere and interacting with other people's videos, just like creating a community around your videos and kind of becoming a part of a community that other people are a part of, you know? Like posting stuff and commenting on things that are also similar to what you're making, just to create this like dialogue between creators is the best way to kind of go about it. Obviously, right now we're not having like YouTuber meetups, because that was a thing back in the day when people wanted to become friends with other YouTubers. They would just go to meetups and stuff back when it was just like simpler times. Next question. Does your work supervisor know you do YouTube, and do they have an issue with it? They know and they don't care. I actually, like, because I make video, like I work in video production, it's kind of just like a thing that I do on the side and they don't care about it. So yeah, no big deal. Was there a particular turning point on your channel when you really started to notice a significant growth in your analytics, a particular video series?
Anti-hauls.
Anti-hauls absolutely was where my videos started to blow up. It was an anti-haul almost exactly 2 years ago now. Holy shit. I was actually at Sasquatch. I remember I was at Sasquatch and I was like, why do I have all these new subscribers?
Oh my god, what the fuck is happening?
And it was an anti-haul. It was an anti-haul that I posted that blew up, and then from then on, all my anti-hauls make are the most viewed. Somebody else asked, like, what's the videos that get the most views? It's my anti-hauls, absolutely. Because A, people were really into anti-consumerism when I first started making them, and people are into it now. And it's just something that's like easily clickable. It's fun. Kimberly Clark wasn't making videos anymore really at the time, so people were looking for other people to make them. And I just happened to start getting my videos to blow up when Kimberly went on tour with David Byrne. So thanks, Kimberly, but I miss you on YouTube. Can you tell which people have their notifications on? Nope. I have no idea who has their notifications on. That's not something that we get sent. How often do you search for new beauty content? Do you watch what's in your recommended, your friends, or do you search for specific videos? These days, I'm not really searching for specific videos because I subscribe to so many people and there's just so much content that I don't even get to watch that I'm subscribed to. So most of the things I watch are in my subscription feed. Sometimes things are in recommended, but I don't usually search out specific videos because most of the time, if I am, I'm looking for like a review of a product. Usually like the people who I subscribe to already do a review of the product that I'm talking about or wanting to look for. I don't search for things. I used to a lot more, but that's when like the community was a lot smaller and you kind of needed to do that. But nowadays it's just like you're bombarded with so much content all the time where you're like, I don't need to look for anything. It's just all put in front of me. Cool. Weirdest request of sponsorship ever.
Oh, I have so many.
I get random requests from people who English is clearly not their first language because the email is all in like broken English. And it's always like some sketchy Amazon link that they want me to talk about, or like teeth whitening or some shit. And I'm like, have you seen my videos? I'm not going to talk about your shitty Amazon product. Like, are you kidding me? So I get a lot of those. A lot of those. I mean, there's just a lot of those little weird ones. Like nothing huge and ridiculous. Probably my favorites are like the ones where it's like,
we've seen your channel and we really think you would fit this, and it's just like
totally unrelated to anything I ever talk about on my channel, and I'm like, no, you haven't. You haven't been watching my videos. They're always funny though. They're always amusing, for sure. Now on to Instagram. What has been the most and least rewarding thing about being on YouTube? The most has definitely been making the friends that I've made over the years. Pretty much most of my friends that I know now are either from YouTube or from shooting live music. Like that's majority of my friends that I have, that I talk to, that I interact with online, and it's just altogether a great time. Least rewarding, trying to fucking do my taxes. It's annoying. I mean, mean comments, again, like, they suck. If there was one thing you could get rid of in the YouTube beauty community, what would it be?
Jeffree Star.
What you wish you knew starting out. I honestly don't know, because I feel like the community is so different and this website is so different from the way it was when I first started. Like, I wish I knew that it would change so much, for sure. Like, I wish I knew that it would be completely different 10 years later. Like, I wish I had hindsight of what it would look like now, and maybe hindsight and to like not join an MCN when I did, because it was annoying as hell. Side note, I don't recommend an MCN for anybody because I feel like they don't do shit. I feel like MCNs, I was on one for a couple of years and it was annoying as hell. They did not do that much for me. I did not get like extra deals. Like, I didn't get like sponsorships with them. All I really did was they took a portion of my money. It was encouraging other people within the MCN to like interact with other people's content. So I got like, I don't know, interaction from other people who were in the MCN, multi-channel network, if you're wondering, stuff like big frame, style haul, full screen, all that stuff. I don't think networks do really anything worth my time. I've heard tons of horror stories from people who were in networks that were trying to get out of their contract and they couldn't. When I was with an MCN, that was the only time I had to fill out a 1099 until now. So somebody actually asked about like taxes. It's very annoying to do taxes. With the MCN, it was just like they took a portion of my money. There's so many people in networks that there's no way they can actually provide like specific support to you, no matter how much they tell you they're going to. So if an MCN approaches you, don't bother, because honestly, the only thing that they gave me was like protection from getting copyright claimed. And then when I was off the MCN, I got copyright claimed on those videos like after my contract ended. So MCNs are annoying. Taxes, very annoying. My aunt, my godmother, is also an accountant, so she does my taxes. So this is the first year since I was with the MCN that I actually am going to have to file because I made over a certain amount. So I'm dreading how much I'm going to owe, because with YouTube, with AdSense, they don't take out any taxes from your earnings. So you always owe at the end of the year. So if you do get money from YouTube, I would suggest setting aside a certain amount from every month so that you have money to pay your taxes at the end of the year, because it sucks having to spend a bunch of money on taxes because they didn't take any out throughout the year, when I would have much preferred them just take out the taxes at the time. Taxes as a 1099 is a nightmare. I hate it. And I don't even have to do it. Like, my aunt does it, but I'm just like, it sucks. What is your favorite, or what has been your favorite video type or trend to film and watch over the years? I honestly love anti-hauls. I love watching them. I love making them. I love this kind of like uptick of like anti-consumerist content, like anti-MLM stuff, just people being critical of stuff. I love watching, because like as like a journalism student, it like really kind of like gets my juices flowing. Like, I was on newspaper in high school and college, and so it just like reminds me of that, and it reminds me of like editorials, and it's just like very much stuff that I enjoy watching, because sometimes things that are just like too like, oh my god, I love this thing, I'm just like, whatever. So I like watching people be critical of stuff, like not necessarily negative, but critical of things. I've enjoyed seeing the community kind of shift that way in the last couple of years, because it's been really good for my content, and also just like really good for the stuff that I watch, you know? Do you ever struggle with comparing yourself to bigger YouTubers who have it all? No. I feel like there's some people who it's not necessarily comparing myself. Sometimes I get annoyed when like people who post like very like infrequently or inconsistently just have like a ton of views because of like one video that went viral, or like a ton of subscribers, and like they don't put the work in. So like when people who don't put the work in get the reward anyway, that kind of annoys me. But it's not necessarily like I wish I had it all, because sometimes I don't know if I would want to have more than 100,000 subscribers. Like, having that responsibility to have that many people watching me at one time, I don't know if I would want that. Having 700k sounds like a nightmare. 100 would be awesome, because then I would just be like completely financially stable. I don't know. I don't feel like I get jealous, because oftentimes the people who have the most, I don't even know what kind of person they are in real life. Most memorable fan interaction. Now, I had to think long and hard, because I've been making YouTube videos for so fucking long. So probably my most memorable and one of my favorite fan interactions led to becoming friends with this person. I was photographing the Black Keys many, many years ago at Key Arena. This girl who I'm now friends with and now attend festivals with on occasion, she was in the front row, and she saw me taking photos, and I like turned around, and she was like,
Abby!
Like, I feel like I'd responded to her, and we'd like talked on occasion a bunch, and so like I knew who she was. Her noticing me in the photo pit was so fucking hilarious, and now we're friends. And anytime people see me at shows, probably my favorite things, because it's just like worlds colliding, and I'm just like, like, and then my other photographer friends were like, what was that? And I was like, oh, I make YouTube videos, and she follows me. They're like, that's so cool. Like, anytime people notice me and recognize me at shows, best time. Do you find it strange to have a fan base? Do people ever recognize you on the street? Yes. They used to recognize me more when I worked at Lush, but probably the last time somebody recognized me was like in the grocery store parking lot, and that was hilarious. I had somebody recognize me in line for a show at the Showbox a couple of years ago. Occasionally, not a ton, but it's always funny when it does. like, especially when my sister's with me, because she just laughs because it's funny. So yeah, people do recognize me, just not as much anymore because obviously I'm not going anywhere. But how do you deal with the awkwardness of people in real life having watched your videos? So like my friends or my family? Honestly, like it's not even awkward anymore because like I don't talk about my friends and my family as much. Like I don't talk about like my real life people in my YouTube videos. And so like, it's not like I would say something about that person and then they would see the video and be like, I didn't know that's how you felt about me. So it's not really weird because I talk about things that are totally separate from any of the things that they're involved in. So it's not really awkward anymore. But again, I've been making YouTube videos for like 10 years and it's just something that people know about me now. So it's just like not weird. I mean, if you are making YouTube videos and you're afraid that it's going to be awkward, don't say anything about your in real life friends and family in your videos, to the point where if they watched it, would they be mad? So like, don't say anything that would like make other people mad or make them uncomfortable or you uncomfortable. Just like keep a level of privacy for yourself. That's my biggest probably piece of advice, is just like, don't share everything. Don't overshare. Sometimes I feel like I overshare. Keep a safe distance, you know? Are there any petty comments that really get under your skin? Last video I posted. Pretty much anytime somebody like puts words in my mouth and assumes things that I do not believe, annoy the shit out of me. Because those are really the only ones that like get to me. I mean, there are comments that make me mad, but it's just like mad because they're so dumb. Or like comments when people say like,
oh, you need to make this video.
Don't say that. Like, you can ask, you can request a video, be like, oh, I would like to see you make this. Or like, this would be a good idea for a video, rather than being like,
you need to review this.
No, I'm not a review channel. But also like, most of the time when people comment that, it's like so random, like very obscure things where it's like, you want me to review an obscure product, spend my money on that obscure product so that you can decide if you want to spend your money on that obscure product. No. Like back in the day, if you wanted to know if a product was good, you would just search for the product name in YouTube, and then you would find a video, and then you would find a YouTuber to watch. Nowadays, I feel like people are so attached to like specific YouTubers that they want the opinion from that person specifically. So it's like they're not gonna buy it unless they hear that person say that it's good, which is like weird because it's like everybody has different opinions on things and different tastes. So yeah, don't ever leave comments saying like, you need to do this. It's like, no, I don't. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me how to live my life. How do you think of ideas? What's your process? A lot of times I just like take ideas from other people. To be frank, most of the time I see a video that I like kind of the idea, and then I like switch it up a little bit and make my video. So I watch a lot of YouTube and it just kind of comes to me. Sometimes I'll see like an article or something that's like relevant and I was like, I need to talk about this. Like, I don't know. I'm not very good at coming up with ideas, to be very honest with you. I feel like I need to be better at coming up with ideas. I need to not just like take people's ideas sometimes, because like sometimes I just really like the ideas that other people come up with. Next comment. I watch ads, but sometimes I skip. Sorry. Do you make more money off of certain ads? I honestly have no idea how that algorithm works. It's very complicated. I know we make more when you don't skip the ads, so like that's an easy way to support us right now. If you like have the time and want to sit through ads, like watching the ads are an easy way to support us financially, support creators right now, especially smaller ones. I don't know if certain ads are worth more than others. I know I make the most money on anti-hauls because I don't know. It's hilarious how I make the most money on a video where I tell people not to buy things. It's ironic and hilarious. But if you have YouTube Premium, which is what I have, so I don't actually have to watch ads, I believe depending on how much you watch, you actually get more money per view if you have YouTube Premium. It's complicated. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I know that if you skip ads, we don't get as much money. So if you feel like it, if you feel like an easy way to support smaller creators right now, just watch the ads and don't skip them. Obviously, if it's like a 2-minute ad, like I wouldn't sit through that either, but like a 15-second ad, just like let it play.
Editing me here, there were a couple more questions that were left on my YouTube community tab that I wanted to address after I had filmed the video, but there's a couple good questions. I have a tiny YouTube channel. One reason I held back for so long on starting was because I was nervous to put myself out there and possibly end up with stalkers, dealing with negative people, and possible invasions of privacy if I actually became bigger. I'd appreciate your insight. For me, I've never had any sort of invasion of my privacy specifically. I had somebody use one of my videos in like a harassment reaction video once. Their whole channel got taken down during the adpocalypse, but karma. But I haven't had any sort of situations where my privacy's been invaded, but I also keep a safe distance. I think that's the most important thing, is like, don't let people know so much about you to where you really feel like your privacy is going to be invaded. If you're making content, if you share enough of your life to where people know you, but like not so much to where they know too much about you, I think is the important thing. Like, I've never had any issues with people really crossing a line like that. As long as you're proactive in like keeping a safe distance, you should be fine. What do you find most difficult about filming? Is it ideas for videos or editing? Definitely think ideas. Editing I really like. I mean, it's time consuming, but I really like it. But yeah, definitely ideas for videos. The filming itself, it's pretty simple at this point. I've just got it down pat. When are you gonna make gaming content with me? I don't know, Josh. When do you want to make gaming content with me? What sort of content or series of videos have you always wanted to make but haven't? I would love to make a music type show, but I just know in my soul that it wouldn't do well because of the way that YouTube works. Music's hard because like without sharing the music in it, you really can't like make content about it. It's like just talking about the music is one thing, but without sharing the music itself in the video, it's hard. I feel like I see so many commentary channels and people who do these like in-depth video essays. The amount of work that those people put into those videos, I wish I could have the stamina and like the energy and the creativity to do it. I just know I don't have that. Approximately speaking, what percentage of your time on average goes to YouTube? Anything video platform related, coming up with video ideas, filming, editing, posting, reading comments, blah, blah, blah. For me, since I post 3 videos a week and I stream twice a week, actually. I stream once for y'all and then I stream once for patrons. So filming usually takes me like an hour to film per video, I would say. Maybe a little bit less depending on if I'm filming like 2 videos in a day. If I'm filming 2 videos in a day, sometimes it'll just take me like an hour and a half for both videos. And then editing can take anywhere from like 2 hours to 6 hours per video. Say that's about 3 hours. Plus, I'll say on average, like
4 hours per video for editing. 4 times 3, 12, and then 15.
So it's 15 hours of just like filming, editing. Uploading, I just like click upload and then I go. Well, I mean, I definitely do like read comments. So say like maybe another hour. I would say like maybe 20 hours a week at least on YouTube stuff. Sometimes the videos take longer than 4 hours to edit. Sometimes they take less. So at least 20, I would say. And then the last one I got after the fact. Do you include being a YouTuber in your resume, and what do you categorize it as? Content creator, influencer, video editor. I do use YouTube on my resume because it's impressive, I think. I say content creator because it's pretty all-encompassing, and then I usually specify like what I do and like what kinds of skills it takes. So like I'll say content creator and I'll say like social media management, video editing, filming. I kind of include just like a description of what it is, but I list it as like a content creator. So back to the video.
And then the last one we're going to talk about is I'd love to know who your favorite YouTubers are. Also, what do you hope for your channel in the next year or so, just in the general future? And what's the biggest growth change you've seen in your video styles? For someone who wants to get into YouTube, how do you determine what content people will want to see? I actually made a couple of videos talking about my favorite YouTubers, so I'll leave those in links. What I hope to see in my channel, I mean, I want to get over 50K. Like, that'd be cool. I just want to keep a steady growth, like nothing too crazy. I don't want to like get like one video that goes viral and then like I have like a lot of people's eyes on my content. Like that kind of freaks me out. But like a steady growth, I would say, is just what I want for my channel. Nothing too intense. I think eventually I would like to get to 100K, but I don't know when the hell that's gonna happen. It took me 10 years to get to 50K, and I really hope it doesn't take 10 more years to get to 100. So yeah, how do you determine what's the biggest growth change you've seen in your video styles? I mean, since I started posting anti-hauls, I think my content has shifted a lot, and I think because of that, like the new people who've seen my videos, it's just been like pushing me to post more content like that. And so I think that's like the biggest growth. How do you determine what content people will want to see? It's a lot of trial and error, honestly. It's a lot of just like posting stuff, and if people watch it, post more stuff that's similar to it. I've posted things that I really liked making, and they got like very little views. So anytime I make a video solely about music, barely any views comparatively, but I really like talking about it. So I'll still make videos about that, even though they don't get a lot of views, even though they don't make a lot of money. But like videos that I don't necessarily like filming and also don't get a lot of views, I won't post those. Videos that are like very specific reviews of like one product never get a lot of views. Tutorials that are standalone tutorials don't get a lot of views. Cooking videos, for the most part, don't get a lot of views, and I don't like filming them. It's honestly, it's just trial and error. Just like posting stuff that you're like, I like this, and then maybe other people will like it. And if they like it, they'll watch it. If they don't like it, they won't watch it. And then you'll just kind of cater your content from there on. It's just kind of like supply and demand, you know? If your goal is to get a lot of people to watch something, if your goal is to make money off videos, post videos that you know people are gonna like, but also post stuff that you like as well, so that it doesn't just turn into you pleasing other people and it actually is like a really nice and rewarding thing for you. When I first started making YouTube videos, money wasn't even a thing. It was just like stuff that we like talking about and things that we were interested in and we enjoyed. So it's changed so much since I started making videos, like so much. It's a completely different ecosystem, a completely different group of people. Yeah. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope you got some answers to some questions you might have been wondering about. I might do like a part 2 of this in like a live stream a different day. That could be fun. So if there's like a bunch of questions that people have, I'll do a live stream kind of as like a compliment to this video. Today's song of the day is Slow Dance 2 by Naked Giants. Love those kids. I call them kids because they're like, what, 22, 20? They're young. But yeah, Slow Dance 2 was off their record Slough that came out a couple years back. So good. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Links to everything on my face, links to my merch will be in the description. If you would like to see more of my videos, please subscribe. That would be awesome. That would help me out a lot. Thanks so much to my patrons. As always, I appreciate you so much. So thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.